I'm here today to talk to you about a rags to riches friend of mine, Alfio Puglisi. I came to know him some 2.5 years ago when at that time he was living in California. And of course I was living then as I am now in San Antonio, Texas. Alfio came to the San Antonio market as an investor because at the time, and really now, you can get so much more bang for your US buck in Texas than you could at the time in California. I knew Alfio through some pretty trying times. His deals did not always go that well, and we found ourselves on the back end of some of the trials and tribulations that it takes today to make a real estate deal go down. In my capacity as working with the real estate investors, I came to know Alfio and some of the mistakes that we made and he made along the way, in which we didn't have the right financing, or we talked to the wrong people, or we just couldn't get the deal done. But Alfio has been a guy who would stick to his guns and be there thick and thin to put the best face on a deal, even though it wasn't going well. So I can give my wholehearted endorsement and recommendation as to a guy who makes it happen, a guy who is on time, on target in terms of dealing with him and in terms of making things come true. Alfio is a winner. Let me say that I've known Alfio when it was rags, and now it's riches. The successes that he's enjoyed here are second to absolute nobody. He has come here with a sense of accomplishment, with trial and error, having fallen on his face in some cases, and picked himself up by his bootstraps, and now he is enjoying an immense amount of success. I've been a real estate broker for over 10 years, and now I have a real estate company in San Antonio with some 28 agents catering to the real estate investor. We do a lot of real estate deals in San Antonio, and we do a lot of investor deals in San Antonio. One of the things that we do is we catering to the real estate investor is that we buy properties in San Antonio for $35,000, give or take. We fix them up for $15,000, give or take, and we sell these properties owner financed in San Antonio. My partner and I are experts in owner financing. And once we do that, and we have a note on a property, because the buyer can't go to a mortgage company or to a bank and get a loan, but we give them owner finance of the property, and then we sell the note. That's our basic strategy in San Antonio. Now, Alfio does the same thing, except he does that on a much larger scale. Where our properties are $35,000 and $50,000, and we have a number of them in San Antonio. Alfio does that in Florida, here in the Cocoa Beach area, but much, much bigger numbers, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he's made that work. He's bringing the bacon home for his investors and for the people that work with him. Let's talk about exit. Why did I buy an exit franchise? Well, the reason that I bought the exit franchise, it was going to do three things for me. Point one, I am now something bigger than I was before, being part of exit. Number two, it has an absolute dynamite training program, second to nobody. There's a number of ways in which agents can be trained to be more successful, and not just more successful real estate agents, to be more successful human beings. And number three, get this, if somebody sponsors a real estate agent that comes to work for me, or comes to work for another Exit franchise and they sponsor an agent that does that, they're going to get 10% of the overall commission that agent that they sponsor does. For example, if you have a $100,000 a deal and the commission is 3%, it can be 6% if you have both sides, which is typical. 3% of $100,000 is $3,000. Well, the agent that does the deal is going to make 70%. 70% of 3,000 is 2,100. And then the broker would normally get 30% with Exit. I only get 20% as the broker because the sponsor is going to get that other 10%. So it's a 70, 20, 10 split. And for real estate agents, that is critically important. Exit has 1,400 franchises in the United States. RE/MAX has over 5,000, but we're growing 6 times faster than RE/MAX. I am absolutely convinced that Exit will be the largest real estate company on this planet.
I've known Alfio Puglisi for several years now, 15, closer to 20 years. When I first met him, he was actually he was working in an automotive shop that he owned. He owned the shop. He was doing really well. After that, we basically lost touch with each other for, I don't know, about 10 years or so. I'd moved to Florida. Alfio I'd gotten in contact with him again after about 10 years, and it turned out that he was actually moving to Florida as well. I was living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. Wasn't exactly doing very well at the time. I was just making my bills. And eventually, after he told me he was moving to Florida, I decided to come over here and see him when he finally came to town. After he moved to town, I came over to see how he was doing, and I looked at where he lived and the car that he drove, and I said, whoa, what have you been doing? I mean, it's just like, it was incredible. He always had a knack of making money. Anything that he touched turned to gold. It was impossible for him to get into something and not make any money at it. It was just a natural gift that he was born with. Then eventually, after I saw him how well he was doing, he said, anybody can do this. This is not anything that's hard to do. This is something that anybody can do. I can show you exactly how to do it. So we got together. Next thing you know, now I don't have any problem making my rent because I don't rent. I own 2 homes myself. He put over $40,000 in cash in my pocket. I'm working on 2 more homes right now that will be closing in the next couple of weeks. I have a 2007 Mercedes-Benz that I own, right? And it's just, there's no other way to explain it more than that, just that he's just full of nothing but success. I never actually got to the point to where I could get enough out of life. I actually, I had problems, making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year seemed like it was the best I could possibly do. No matter how hard I tried, I always had to work twice as hard to get half as far. Until Alfio came over to Florida where I was I actually able to achieve true success. That completely changed my life. Nothing good in life just happens. You have to do something to make it happen. And even if it's as little as taking a step forward to believing in something that works, or believing in yourself, you have to make that first step, and that's what Alfio has done to me and done to lots of other people. Everything he touches turns to gold. I've got 2 houses now, right now that I own, and I'm buying 2 more houses I'll be closing on in just a couple more weeks, which would be more cash in my pocket. And once again, this would not have been possible if it wasn't for Alfio. I went from a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, barely making my rent, to basically financial, independence to where I can do whatever I want to do. I can work when I want to work. I can live where I want to live. I can live in any property that I want, or rent them out, or go on vacation wherever I want to go. If there's ever a mentor, which person that you'd want to follow in your life, if there's somebody that you admire and you feel that you would like to be in their footsteps and follow their path through life, it would be Alfio. This is somebody who can easily explain things. He puts things in simplest terms to where it's easy for you to understand, and it's not something that you can just you can gain knowledge in a classroom or anything like that. It's something that it comes natural to him. Since me and Alfio have been business colleagues, we have been all over the place together. Been to some of the finest restaurants, like you wouldn't believe. The dinners and the champagne that we have drank is more than most people's mortgage on their house. And yeah, for most people, I mean the type of lifestyle that we live together as friends and stuff is very lavish. This is just the beginning too. This is just something that I've been involved with for not even a full year. We're talking about probably 6 months now already. 6 months, I have 2 properties and I'm closing on 2 more. Okay, this is truly a dream come true. When I first came to Alfio, he said that we could start doing this right away, investing into the real estate and everything, and I told him I had absolutely no money to put down on a house. I didn't have the type of money we would require for a down payment. He said not to worry about that. He said this is something that we could do without that. We can get you the money. You can easily do this with no money down. He showed me how to do it and it worked. We went ahead and purchased the first home with absolutely no money out of my pocket whatsoever. And the first deal that I ever did with him, I made $20,000 on the first deal, cash in my pocket. Collectively, right now, I'm worth well over $500,000. And then after I close in the next 2 deals, I will be worth a net worth of over $1 million. After we close on these other 2 properties, I will have a cash out of about $180,000 net cash in my pocket. Alfio was able to show me how, by using his system and his techniques, his very effective techniques on how to go ahead, establish those, get the money that we needed for the down payment, be able to get the money for the house, and yet still put cash in my pocket and walk away at the closing table with $20,000 or more on every deal we've done so far.